What is going on, everybody? Alex Super back here on FSI for another week. Thank God club football is back for some GOALAZO again here on FSI. Before we get into it, please like the video, subscribe to FSI, that's the biggest one, and then comment if you have any comments for me. Also find me on Twitter at Lex Hooper. And we're here to give you some GPP angles for the big 6-game Saturday EPL slate. Preferred those smaller slates because I was getting kind of good at those. I expect this one to be chaos, especially because when guys come back from international breaks, it seems to just be a total shit show. So I expect that again tomorrow. So let's hop into it. I'm going to show you this real quick, and hopefully you can see the king of the pitch behind this, and just my little cheat sheet here. I'm just trying to figure this all out because normally this doesn't show up. So let's take a gander. All right, only minus money favorite on the slate is Man United traveling to Watford. They're minus 190. Watford plus 532. The over on that 2 3/4, minus 116. You know, these over under numbers are generally centralized, so just concentrate on the actual over under number. So again, just an explainer for what this number is. You'll see it, you know, with every team. This is XG for this team plus XG allowed from their opposition. So Man United 36.1 in that area. Only the third highest on the slate here. So I do expect Man United to beat Watford, but in terms of like GPP upside and where I think the goals are more likely to come from, it's actually not Man United. On the other side, Watford, not the worst at 23.9, but you know, you can do better. I don't expect to get to a ton of Watford, but you definitely can if there's some cheapies that make sense within your lineup. All right, moving down, the second biggest favorite, Southampton plus 114 against Norwich, at Norwich actually, plus 269. The under is expected there. That's a 2-goal expectation. But Southampton 36.9 in the XG, I don't know, whatever, my little XG number. It's not a very, you know, it's not terribly predictive necessarily. So don't look at that and think that I'm saying, you know, they're going to score a ton of goals here. I do use it to guide my decision making though, but this is the second highest number here against a pretty bad Norwich defense. That said, Dean Smith coming into town. They need to get into non-relegation mode. That is the reason that Daniel Farke was sacked. So Norwich probably going to start reshuffling their defense. So you could see a new manager bump. You could see some of that coaching going into effect right away, maybe 5 at the back, and all of a sudden Norwich's defense is better. That said, you could also see Norwich start to make some adjustments and just get absolutely pounded here. But it's Southampton, so I do like them almost as much as anyone else on the slate. Moving down, Brighton, actually not the favorite here, plus 214 at Villa, who is the favorite, plus 147, the third biggest favorite on the slate. The over is looking, let's see, minus 114, but 2.25 total. Villa with the worst XG number here, actually. 25.8 to Brighton's 29.1. Either way, not very good, but Villa is, you know, worse than Watford in this situation in terms of goal scoring. So new manager, Steven Gerrard. We'll talk about their tactics a little bit as we go through, but expect double strikers, but maybe Ollie Watkins on the wing. Moving down, my favorite team on the slate from a GPP perspective is West Ham, plus 149 at Wolves, who are plus 218, the over favorite here, but West Ham with a 41.5 XG number. That's way bigger than Southampton, who is second. Wolves, not a great defense. West Ham has been a very nice attack, and I like them here. And I think you can find some low-owned spots and some cheap spots, given some of the pricing here. I mean, Mikel Antonio is 7,900, and he could very easily put up a brace, if not more, against Wolves. So moving along. Newcastle actually the favorite at home to Brentford. Newcastle plus 167, Brentford plus 181. The under favored here, 2.5. Brentford with the better XG number, almost as good as Man U actually. Newcastle the worst on the slate, but yet they are favored. So yeah, new manager Eddie Howe in the building. You can see something different there. Callum Wilson and St. Maximin up front. So Brentford I think is a better team. Newcastle is the home team. This is essentially a pick 'em, and I'm not going to take a hard stance either way in this one. Then an actual pick 'em, plus 179 each. Palace at Burnley, the over slightly favored at 2.25. And then Palace with a decent kind of middling 32, Burnley with a 23-7, tied with Norwich for second worst kind of like goal odds, goal expectation on this slate. So there's your cheat sheet. Let me stop this share really quick just in case you couldn't see this behind it, and then we will run through some players and talk some strategy now that we've talked kind of about the slate. So again, 3 new managers, adding some uncertainty to coming back from the international break. None of that really should change your approach DFS wise, but I guess maybe lean on the odds a little more here. Or if at the same time, if there's a spot that you'd like way more, like chase it. If you have a feeling here about, some of these odds being wrong, again, like Brentford hasn't been great, and I don't care that they're at St. James Park. Like I expect them to be a little better than Newcastle, but at the same time, I could see it going the other way. West Ham, I feel like should be a much bigger favorite against Wolves. That's kind of a feeling that I have, and then I feel like Southampton's going to kind of have their way with Norwich. So, but the odds don't necessarily agree with me, and that could make me pay. So, getting into it. Players, the big chalk going to be Bruno Fernandes, going to be James Ward-Prowse. Of the two, definitely going to be more ownership on Fernandes, given they're the biggest favorite, and Fernandes is actually cheaper and the bigger name. So both are fadeable in GPP. Anytime there's going to be high ownership, they are fadeable. I am not going to get away from Bruno that much. If I had to fade somebody for an upside play here, it would be James Ward-Prowse. He's obviously got the floor, but not necessarily going to be the goal scorer. But that floor could be 20, 22 points. So I don't really want to get away from either of them all that much. I think 75% of my lineups will probably have both of them in it. As to who you pair with them, let's start at the forward spot and kind of move through. So I don't love any of these 3 at the top. I don't love Bowen at 9,000. I know I talked about West Ham, but I don't love that price. I'll probably get there maybe once, maybe twice, but I can't imagine, it's going to make 4,600 left. Not terrible, but I can't imagine that's going to make a lot of lineups look good. But if you find enough cheap players, then go for it. Trossard, whatever. If Gross is on the pitch, then he's not going to be taking sets, and he's just purely an upside play and not really highly favored. So maybe no Trossard for me. Ronaldo, you have to get to him. He's going to be super, super owned. So if you don't get to him and he scores, and if he scores a brace, you're sunk. And otherwise, you're kind of just blocking with him. But I don't really want to play him, mostly because I don't like him, not because I don't think he'll score anything. It's Watford, but United's not that good, and I don't know. But I'll play him. You have to. But just know that there's plenty of leverage in fading him. If he only scores 1 goal, you're probably fine doing it. Now, Wilfred Za at 86, I will very much consider. He's got a nice floor. Anyway, I don't know what his involvement is going to be. He's not necessarily a crosser. His floor is drawn fouls. So against Burnley, I think you kind of know you're not going to be dribbling through the middle in general. So dicey, but worthwhile. I'd rather play Rashford for a couple of reasons over Ronaldo, but whatever. Gross 8,400 always gets there. Not much more to say. The Traores, Adama more likely to play, but still I don't think projected to start. None of these guys really interest me up here. Nathan Redmond back from COVID at 8,000, playable, definitely in a pair with Ward-Prowse and at that price. Again, Mikel Antonio at 7,900, like I might play him in cash, honestly. That's just such a good price. And then there are two other guys on this slate who could absolutely make that work for me. So yeah, I might seriously consider him in cash, even if there are some better forwards down here. Leon Bailey hasn't been great. I don't really like the Villa Brighton match a whole lot. I don't like Villa a ton at this point. They haven't settled into anything. Same maximum at 7,700, whatever. A lot of whatever pricing up here, whatever. Tony at 75, I think I like more than the rest of this group. But maybe not Greenwood. If Greenwood starts, I think 7,500 is probably a better play than Antonio in cash, now that I say that, if he starts. Because Watford's going to drop back so far, and you might actually just get some crossing. And, I don't know what Greenwood's crossing looks like again. Not much. He does it. He does it. 3-4, that's fine. I mean, look at all these points. He scored in all these, but like 8.1, even when he didn't. 5-3 lately. That's all in lesser minutes. So, yeah, I mean, like, what you're getting. Here's probably your best sort of luck, like a 7 lately against Everton and playing a full 90. So, I mean, this is his range of outcomes. You could also get 15.7 if he takes 8 shots like he does against Villa, but 7,500 is not bad. Okay. Moving on. Rashica at 74. Fine. I don't care. Callum Wilson, I like better than Tony. Jimenez, 72, whatever. I'd say it's not going to start. Broja is probably not going to start. If he does, I like him even at 7,100. I just like Southampton here, as I've said. Ollie Watkins at 7 could be on a wing. Now, we don't really know what he's going to do out there. I don't know if he ever played a wing for Brentford. I think he just played up the middle. So I wouldn't play him expecting a whole lot of crossing. And again, like, I don't love this match. Sarr at 7,000 is steep. I don't think I'll be playing him here. Dwight McNeil, speaking of cash forwards, I think is going to be your best option for a cash forward. 6,900. It's still Palace, and Burnley does what they do. Palace has been good, and Palace will probably have more of the ball than we're used to, but at least in prior seasons. But it's hard to pass on the price here. And he makes an Antonio work. He makes those other guys, Greenwood, stuff like that. He makes that work with these 3. You can probably get another very expensive midfielder, which we'll see is kind of a tilting point, and maybe a Shaw. And there's a really nice cheap defender on this slate. Armstrong should start up front. Love him. 6,900. I'd prefer him to Broja, obviously, but Che Adams at 6.5 is where I would probably go, but it doesn't really matter. I don't think the ownership's going to be that different between the two. Any of the 3 up front for Palace are fine for me. Benteke is fine at that price point, but Edouard on the wing at 6,200 down here, probably going to be better for you. Jan could start. That's fine. Cornet, probably going to start up front with Wood. That's fine. Emblemo, 66. Hasn't been putting up the floors that we're used to, or at least that we got in some of the championship slates last year, but still fine play. Ben Rahman at 6.6. Again, like, I think West Ham is extremely mispriced here. Very soft pricing on West Ham. They're in the top 4 and they're playing, Wolves have been all right, but like, let me see. What's their XG against here? Let's sort by XG against. Okay, so they're in the better half. They're no City. But I mean, this is kind of a mishmash. It's just kind of average. There's not a lot of differentiation between these. The 3 at the bottom here are a lot different. But yeah, so I don't know. I just like West Ham. Ings should probably play through the middle for Villa at 64. That's perfectly fine GPP play. Pair him with Watkins even. I don't think many people will be on that build. I might make 1 or 2 lineups like that and just see what kind of upside I can get elsewhere. I don't think Mopes. Yeah, maybe he will. Again, don't care about that game. Edouard here is a highlight for me. Martial is actually in a few projected lineups, and at 6,100 in this game, I expect to see a lot of him. Problem is he's not that good. He doesn't really work for United, so I wouldn't jam him into 18 of my lineups just to get that cost savings. But if he scores, like, you're gonna like it. You're gonna like that he did it. Timo Pukki is going to be in play until he's up towards like the 7,000s. Maybe a little less than that. Like, they're never going to be favored, but he's on PKs and he's the guy who kind of ends up with the ball in the box anyway. So go for it. Josh King should start, whatever. Daniel Podin's actually expected to start for Wolves. Probably won't play 90, but at 5,400, like, a lot of salary relief there. Obviously, like I've said, I don't love Wolves' spot, but he's playable. Vidra at 53. Palace is Palace still. I'm not crowning them. They're much better, but I'm not afraid to play Burnley against Palace. And we haven't even seen Chris Wood, who's 4,900 and a much better play than Vidra at IMO. Also, that's going to be Cornet probably. Connolly, I believe, is sick. Dennis at 52, whatever, salary relief works. If Gatto starts, 5,100, fantastic. I actually like him more than Wood. And then we get to, if Walcott plays, which I don't think he has been, I like it. Wow, Sancho's 4,400. I think he is supposed to start. So United's lineup is very up in the air. Like, you could see Van de Beek. You could see, I saw a Sancho and Martial projection with Bruno and Ronaldo. So, like, I would so much rather play Sancho and Martial than Ronaldo, because unless Ronaldo scores a brace, which is very possible against Watford. That's so much, it's Sancho's almost half the price. I know he's been bad, and I know he is very wayward right now, but just, you get different. Ronaldo's gonna be so on, man. He's gonna be so on, and I'm sure he's gonna kill me if I'm gonna be under the field. I know I'm gonna be under the field, and I'm sure he could kill me, but that's fine. The rest of these guys, I mean, they're obviously cheap. Again, Goodmanson, 4,100. It's Palace. Said that a million times. Almiron, 4,000. Newcastle's favorite. If he plays, fine. And most of these dudes probably are not going to play. I'd love to see Yarmo. That would make me very happy, and I would jam him in. João Pedro actually expected to be the 10 for Watford. If you're not playing De Gea and you need some serious salary relief to jam in, maybe Conor Gallagher, or if you want homie Bowen. If you want Bowen, I mean, you can play João Pedro, and it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Okay, let's talk about some mid-only players. Conor Gallagher at the top here, 9,200. It is Burnley. If Luka Milivojevic starts, 9,200 for Conor Gallagher is probably way too much. He has goal upside. If he's on sets against Burnley, jamming Fernandez, Ward-Prowse, and Conor Gallagher in like this, I think you can still, you could play João Pedro and whoever, and then there's a cheap defender that I keep talking about. You could probably make this work. And if Luka's not in, I would probably do it, at least in one GPP lineup. Okay. I already talked about these guys. Pogba's out. We love this. Buendia's going to be on the wing. Hasn't really gotten going. We'll see what happens with Gerrard. I would expect Buendia to start taking a lot of sets. There's no real evidence for that behind me saying that. It's just a hunch. So at 7,300, probably my favorite player from this game. Lingard not going to start. Fornals at 6,700. Again, love it. Opportunity cost at midfield is the only reason you don't think about Fornals here, but you can make it work. Not worried about Wissa anyway. Willock has not been good if he even plays. McGinn actually is probably going to drop into a holding spot for Villa. Norman could be complicated in this one because Todd Cantwell, who's right here below him, could start and could steal some sets. He fell out of favor, and Norman's been so good. I don't know necessarily that Dean Smith's going to walk in there and be like, Todd's back in the lineup and he's on all the sets, but it just could happen, and just know that. Let me check to see if Solly March is expected to play, because it's 6,000. Yes, no. Solly March. Okay, 6,000. Not bad. Not a bad floor play. More of a cash guy. Again, don't love the spot. Elise, if he starts for Palace, fantastic. Dowell, whatever. I believe Jensen has COVID. I don't think you're going to see him, which should push sets for Brentford to probably a split between Canos and that's the wrong game. Canos and Norgard. Jensen's expected in here, so. But I'm pretty sure he's not going to play because of COVID. I don't know. Mata, McAllister, whatever. Trincao could play. These guys are all pretty low ceiling guys. I think Trincao is probably your highest ceiling here, but it's not terribly high. I mean, Westwood's been great. He's still hovering at 5,000. I would never be afraid to play him. Again, it's Palace. Neves can pull a goal every now and then. Douglas Luiz, I believe, had a knock in the international break. I don't expect him to start. Morgan Sanson could start. Again, I don't care about him. Elyounoussis, a nice exposure, cheap exposure to Southampton's wing. I'll get 10. 46. That's nice. Moutinho's Moutinho. If Norgard does look like he's going to be on sets, then 4,400 will be nice. Nice salary relief here. But again, we're talking mid only. And I mean, like, you're going to want to jam these dudes in here. And if you're fading these two, either of these two, like, you're going to want upside. So, like, you're not getting that from a lot of these mid onlys. You're looking at guys like dropping down to Sancho and getting up to, bigger forwards, or like maybe a Luke Shaw if you need the salary, or it's a 6-game slate, so paying up to keeper seems a little wrong, but you can still do it. Yeah, again, like, none of these guys are going to give you a ton of upside. Ramsey at 39 is not bad at all if he starts. Van de Beek, sure. I'm not playing any of these dudes unless I have to. I like Jennifer. I would play Jennifer if he started, but he won't. Just looking at him, like, I know we're going to see a lot more of John Joe Shelby under Eddie Howe, but it's at 32. Holy cow, Suchek's 3,200. Wowie zowie. Whew, all right. I mean, he hasn't scored this year. I don't know how many more runs into the box he's making relative to last year, which is like what made him score a ton of goals, obviously. How many shots is he taking? 5 shots, 20 shots, 5 on goal. Taking way more shots before. I don't know, man. Like, he didn't shoot against Liverpool or Everton. Just doesn't shoot against Scousers, I guess. That's a nice play. 32. Holy cow. I don't think any of these guys matter anymore, because, like, why would you just not play Suchek? I see no reason to play anyone down here over Suchek. It's not here, right? What? Is this a thing? Is this the same Aaron Ramsey? Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Okay. He's a football quarterback. Different Aaron Ramsey. All right. He's the PL2 player of the month, week. All right. Not the same Aaron Ramsey. Yeah, just play Suchek. Like, if you're going to play a mid-only player, and you need salary relief, like, unless you're paying up and going for like a premium and Gallagher, like, I would just play Fornells or Suchek. There you go. There's the cover. Suchek. Okay, defender. Shaw. Had a concussion, right? Concussion, been training. Has not really been crossing a ton. I mean, these are nice numbers. No, they're not these numbers, but, like, play him if you can fit him. I see no problem with that. There's some upside there. Richie. Let's see. So this is going to determine if I'm going to play Richie or how I will prioritize him. Brentford allows the most crosses in the penalty area. Okay, so that sounds like a good spot for Richie. Who allows the most crosses? Spurs. Did I miss Brentford? Okay, so yeah, so they don't allow a ton. They allow a lot into the penalty area. Interesting. All right. Yeah, I mean, he's fine. 59 is perfectly fine. Love Livermento here. I'll find a spot for him. Like I would, depending on what the rest of my cash lineup looks like, I would fade. If I got to Shaw, I would fade him to get to Livermento easily in GPP. Like that's a better upside play. Not necessarily better than Shaw, but could very easily have a higher ceiling than Shaw. Cucurella, don't love him here. Cresswell could be fine at 55. As you may have heard, I like West Ham this week. I would play Cresswell over Canos, although Canos is perfectly fine in GPP. I don't know about Kufal's involvement. Murphy at 5, like I would just find the money to go up. I ignore he should start, but don't love the spot. Wan-Bissaka is a tackler, doesn't have a huge upside, so not your best GPP play. I'm always a big Natty Cash guy. Loading whatever here. Anyone down here that makes sense? Benny Johnson's fine at 43. But so you may have seen when I was looking for Solly March. Let's go back. All right, let's play some Dora the Explorer here. See anyone who might play defense who's an outlier in this lineup? It's Drake Lamptey. 4,100. Playing defender. Gonna be forward. Like, he's cheap and better than, I mean, I can see an argument for Johnson, but like I would play Lamptey at the same price as, let's see, Cash in the spot. Probably it would rival it. Murphy at 5. I might think of playing over Lamptey at 5. And then you get like up here, like I would play Cresswell over Lamptey at 5.5, and I would probably play Canos at 5.4 over Lamptey. But he's not. He's 4,100. So if you need it, like that's wonderful. Genolis, Rose, just bad spots. Veltman's gonna be in a back 3. Rico Henry at 3.8 is fine. You know, a little boosted because of his goal recently. Feel free to play Harry Maguire. And then we get down to the pair them with your keeper spot. Omobamidele is going to be more of a center back here. He's been on the wing for Norwich, so I don't think you're getting a ton of savings there. Just a bunch of dudes. A lot of dudes here. Being very undude. Zuma at 2,700. Like, I know it's what the odds say, but like, good Lord, West Ham is like, he's a center back. I'm not trying to say he's a great play, but like, he's a center back with a much better chance of scoring other than, you know, the Tarkowskis and me's in the world. Okay, pair these guys with their keeper. I don't see any potential like big time savings wingbacks here. Willie Ball at 25. Okay. On to everybody's favorite, the keeper. I see no problem in paying down to Ben Foster. Tim Krul's been fine. I wouldn't go up to Jose Sa, as you probably could have guessed. Find an extra 100 to get to Steele. Pope at 45 is fine. I would, if I was in this range, I would just go up to Pope probably. Fernandez at 4.6 is a nice mid-range. Like, I don't think much of Newcastle. I could see them not scoring, but gotta watch out for that new manager bump. Wouldn't pay this. Giada's fine. Martinez is fine. Fabianski, fine. As much as I like West Ham, I don't know that I want their keeper. I think De Gea is a pretty safe play at 57. And I wouldn't sit here and be like, yeah, you can just drop down to McCarthy $500 savings. It's not the same. I don't have the odds, the clean sheet odds in front of me or anything, but I would find the 500 for De Gea if I were going to pay up, or I would just not pay up. So yeah, up here I think it's either De Gea or you drop down to Emi Martinez at the very highest. I think I would prefer Giata over Emi Martinez. I would prefer Giata over the Newcastle keepers, and if you need the savings, I see Brentford's keepers as close to equal footing, but I would still rather have Giata. Pope is close. I like Pope more as a keeper, but he's going to be tasked with a lot more, which is a great reason to play him in GPP. I don't love Brighton's keepers here. I don't love Wolves' keeper. So I would either just go all the way down. So my player pool would be Foster, Krul, Pope, Fernandez, Gallagher, Martinez, and De Gea, which is a wide player pool for keeper. For once, I'm usually not like that. I usually pick out like one or two, but it's going to depend on your build, as it should. Like, don't make this decision. Don't go 1-2 keeper. If you're doing that, you should be watching my videos. You should be watching beginner videos, and that's not like a slap in anyone's face or anything. But keeper last. If it's a 2v2 with a keeper and like your second defender, then that's fine. As long as it's not a slate where you have 3 great defenders. For once, that's actually midfielder. I feel like this whole season we've had like, all right, I like this guy at midfield, and like maybe I'll play a forward eligible player at midfield, and then I don't know who else I'm gonna play. Like this slate is, I wish I had 5 midfield spots. I want to play a 3-5-2. Yeah. So let's see. What did we learn? Feel free to fade Bruno or James Ward-Prowse. Just know where you're sacrificing upside. If Bruno busts and you're off of him, all of those lineups are automatically good. But if he plays 90, there's a good chance that you're going to need him. Maybe not need him. There's a good chance you're going to want him. I would be more willing to fade James Ward-Prowse, maybe drop down. But there's some cheap forwards here in good spots that I don't think, like, really quick. So let's look at the top of forward really quick and see who's really got a chance to score 2 goals. Bowen, I don't think so. A goal plus his floor could be nice, but at 9,000, like you need a goal's worth of floor. Trossard wouldn't touch him. Ronaldo very easily could score 3. He could score 4. I could see Zaha scoring a brace at 86. I could see Rashford scoring twice at 85. I don't even know if he'll start. Other than that, you're looking down at Antonio at 7,900, and all you need is 1 goal there. And so, like, if you find good floors here, like, I don't think you're going to be hurting for goals. Again, it's a 6-game slate. Things get wild and things get mucky because of the international break. But I would still make sure to secure some floors here and just find a couple of goals, and then maybe they score a couple. If you're paying up for Ronaldo, you can sacrifice some floor, but also, like, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of it. I like West Ham. West Ham, Southampton, and then I'll get to United, but I'm not gonna like stack them. So, all right, that's it. That's all I got for you. I don't even have any other sort of points, so I'm just gonna sign off. Good luck. Leave a comment if I missed somebody, if you like somebody, or if this helped you, if past videos have helped you. Share with your friends. We want to keep this thing going. But thanks for tuning in. I'll be back Sunday for Tilt City with my buddy Tom. We love Tom. Tom is doing great. Tom's been on the upswing and been better than me lately. So he's killing it. So I'm excited for him, and I'm excited to talk to him about this weekend slate. We'll do that on Sunday. But for now, I'm Alex Hooper. Follow me on Twitter, Alex Hooper, and do all that stuff from the beginning. Like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. And kill it this weekend. Go win at GPP, and then let me know that I helped, or at least make me feel like I helped. Till this week, take care.